Hey friends, happy Friday. Michelle here with this week's video. Wanted to talk about real quick, wanted to revisit what Jake talked about last week about how are we getting people who don't know Jesus to come in and be a consumer of the word, consumer of CCV, consumer of, how do we get them through the doors, right? And he kind of threw out a challenge. How are you getting people? How are you convincing people to come through the doors? And I wanted to revisit a little bit and just kind of ask the question and shout out to a couple of people who I know that are on our team that do this really well already. I wanted to shout out to Susie Wheeler, the Barclays, Allie Dawson, Matt Perry, Vicky and Gary Proya. I hear you guys talking to people. I hear you guys inviting people. I see you inviting people. So just know that I see you. I see the good work that you're doing and trying to get people to come in and be consumers of the word, and just so that they know the love of Jesus, that they're coming through the doors. I love that. So just shout out to you guys who already do a really good job at that. And hopefully Jake did a really good job at challenging you guys to be throwing that out there to people when you're meeting people who are struggling, or just you're meeting everyday people who just don't seem to know. They don't know how good he is, and just getting them through the door. So thank you so much for that. Second part of this series, we wanted to talk about how are we taking the consumers, how are we taking the people that we see all the time, and how are we convincing them to then be contributors, right? How are we convincing them to take their next steps? How are we convincing them to sign up to serve? How are we convincing them to trust God with tithing, right? Like, how are we getting them to now be contributors to the church? And stuff like that, and giving back, right? Like, so how can we do that? How can we show people that they belong here, that we need them, right? Because we do need them. I'll tell you that right now. Converting the consumers into contributors. So how do we do that? We show them around, right? If you're serving and you've got a friend that's coming in who just kind of wants to see what you do, and they see you behind the counter and you're wearing a name tag and you're helping out and you're doing things, show them what you're doing. Tell them about your serve journey and what it's done for you, and tell them why you do it. Inspire them to take their next step. Inspire them to just give it a try for at least a little while, right? Anchor verse for this week, 1 Peter 4:10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. If anyone speaks, they should do so as one who speaks the very words of God. If anyone serves, they should do so with the strength God provides, so that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen. Really awesome anchor verse there, just talking about how, like, hey, we've all got talents. We've all got things that we love to do. And if serving is something that you love to do, which all of you it is, I see all of your wonderful faces and it's just so awesome. Just pour that into others. Show them how amazing it is to contribute to their church and how great the fellowship can be. Now, here are our needs for the contributors, right? Here's where we need contributors right now. Weekdays, we have weekday serving opportunities. If y'all didn't know that, we have teams that are here Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, so they definitely need some help right now. So if you're talking to somebody and they're like, well, I can't really serve on the weekends, but I do, I am open during the week. That's great. We've got some opportunities there. And then Saturdays, as y'all know, a lot of you who help out on Saturdays, y'all know that we are kind of in deep need there. Saturdays, especially second service and closing up after church is let out. So those are some areas. If you're talking to people and they're interested in taking their next steps in serving, definitely try to get them in for those areas. So that's how you graduate from being a consumer to to a contributor, right? Now, next week, we're going to talk about how are we graduating, or how are we showing people, how do we ourselves graduate from being a contributor to a multiplier? How are we creating more people who will go out and share the gospel, who will go out and share the good news of Jesus, who will go out and get more people, inspire more people to take their next steps, stuff like that. So we are super excited for that one. Jake and I will be doing that video together. And just again, if y'all have examples of how to turn people from contributors into, from consumers into contributors, let us know down in the comment section. Can't wait to hear from you, and can't wait to see you, the guys, this weekend. Mother's Day, got a really special message from Ashley Woldridge's wife. So really looking forward to that, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.